Hey, friends, welcome into the TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs. Specs Wines and Spirits and Finer Foods has been a Texas family-owned destination for selection and saving since 1962. It's your one-stop shop with literally thousands of wines, spirits, and beers at everyday lower prices. Hanging out here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. All right, Nick, your favorite part of the program?
Bob Sturm. I'm not you know me, I'm from Houston area at least, but I always enjoy when he's on the program. He's a good, I know he's not an Aggie, but got good Aggie takes. He's a very cynical Cowboys fan, so that's kind of funny to me too. I guess Bob. All Cowboys fans are kind of cynical.
One of my favorite parts of the program. Reese, I want you to tell me your least favorite part of the show.
Myself.
That's interesting you said that. That's good. That's actually what I was thinking.
Oh, wow.
All right, check out I'm kidding. What was your favorite part of the show?
John Harris. We both share the same Drew Aller take, so John Harris, favorite part of the show today.
Okay. Nick, anything else on the rewind that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, we had player number 3 in our 25 and 25 countdown, recruiting country, and Jake Crain, of course.
Sounds like a party going on back there. Before we hit the rewind, can we just kind of show them? Are they being loud again?
Yeah, they always are.
What are
Very
they talking
distracting.
about?
Nothing important.
Don't they know this is a business we're trying to run? No more loitering in the back. Go upstairs to your cubicles.
At your desks.
Rewind. Can we talk Will Lee for a moment?
Yes,
Number
we can.
3, one of the most critical guys to A&M's success last season, and certainly going to be critical to their success this season, OB.
Will Lee, let's make a blanket statement. Yes, he will. And let's make a blanket statement and say he's one of the best, if not best, cornerbacks in the SEC. I mean, he's all SEC last year. I remember, of course, his pick 6 against Texas, but I also remember him creating a pick 6 for Bryce Anderson against Florida. You know, he's got his hand in there to break up a pass. The ball went in the air, deflected, and Bryce picked up the ricochet and took for a touchdown. I think, if my memory serves, he had something like, there he is.
There's the play against Texas, yep.
And I think he had, 10 passes broken up last year? I know he created forced a fumble against South Carolina, and just played a really strong cornerback all year. Unfortunately, they didn't have somebody else as good on the other side. And quite frankly, it's going to be difficult to find somebody else as good because that's an NFL player right there.
To me, the Missouri game is the game that I think about most just because of the...
He got away with one in the Missouri game.
Well, but the chatter leading up to the game.
Yes.
Right?
With the whole blanket thing.
The whole blanket thing. And honestly, 2 excellent wide receivers. He was mostly on Theo Weiss, but and Luther Burden was there. But his ability to make him not a factor in that game, especially with the I think, not the best decision by Eli Drinkwitz to have that whole thing staged, which I don't know if it was Eli. Yeah. I think it was.
Somebody within the
organization.
Yeah. They drew attention to the blanket and how good he was, and then he went out and was. Now, was there a play that was first called a pass interference penalty and then waved off? Yes, there was. Could it have gone either way? Yes, it could have. If you were a Missouri fan and saw that, do you feel like you got hosed? Of course you do. And maybe you were. But the fact of the matter is, beyond that, Will Lee just took, at least for his part in it, took guys like Luther Burden.
I mean, that's a great question, and it serves for all sorts of conversation. But I think the short answer is just do the work and let your work speak much louder than your fan base could on a sports talk situation or a message board or a bar room or wherever you are. Like, let your identity be your identity. Don't tell us about it. And this is the catch-22 of college football, right? Because so much of college football is fueled on the conversation or the debates heck, the recruiting rankings have set A&M on some side roads over the years that have not necessarily been helpful, because now it's, well, we've seen you win recruiting day before, but that doesn't translate for you guys. So A&M's now at a spot where they could literally have the best class of all time and people would still roll their eyes. So the short answer, if could still be defined as short, would be just go do the work. Just go win games. Just put out on the field what you put out last year in September and October. And then, of course, finish the job. And they took some massive steps forward, but I think Mike Elko is all about that. I don't think he's the talking marketing type as much as he is the let's go do the work type. So I think they're on the right path, but I think we've also talked enough times that, I'm a cup half full guy for the most part, looking at the direction of this program. And therefore I've been duped before, I suppose.
I think we all have, Bob. So where are you with this team this year? Based on some of the things you've read about, the changes defensively, the maturation of Marcel Reed, where are you on them?
You know what? I'm pretty excited about what this team can be, because now there's some qualifications here, because it appears to not be a window that goes on indefinitely. But this year you do have the experience, a very veteran offensive line, a very full running back room, and a quarterback who, along with a coordinator that seemed to be able to say, okay, we're going to maul you, and we're going to control the ball, and we're going to keep the game on our terms.
Things we can talk about this morning. When talking about commitment retention, are we, and I think we can explore it multiple ways, but are we talking keeping this group or Coach Elko's ability to keep a group?
We are talking, well, first of all, how many times have we heard him say, whether it was at TexAgs preseason kickoff or on the various national media hits that he's done, he talks about roster retention and how they didn't lose many guys that they wanted to keep. Obviously, everybody will think about Noah Thomas, and that was a big one. But outside of Noah, did they lose anybody that was just that they felt like they really had to have? They wanted to keep Noah, and they lost him. Outside of that, it's a lot of those guys returned, and not only the roster return, but you're looking at roster retention in terms of the NFL, and with Trey Zune and Amaje Reed-Adams, and Will Lee, guys that chose to come back on this roster that could have had overtures from the NFL, or definitely did have overtures from the NFL. So they've done a good job on the roster with retention, but then you look at recruiting retention, that's going to be just as important, because you have a very old team this year. So obviously next season that's going to change, and you have to start backfilling those positions. They've done an outstanding job, as we've mentioned so many times, gathering a collection of talent that's going to put them in the discussion for a top 5 class. They had some misses here late in the summer that could have pushed them over the top and cemented them as maybe a top 3 class. They didn't get them. That's recruiting. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But now, in order for them to get to that top 5, into that top 5, they've got to retain what they've got. And the reason why that's important is because you're seeing some of these commitments come out publicly and say they're going to take trips elsewhere. You saw it with KJ Edwards. What happened in the chat that got you? What happened?
You saw that?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can't. You're just like Olin.
Yeah.
You guys, when you see something across that screen that's toxic, that you can't hold it in. And I don't think you were like that until you started doing the go hour with him every day.
Yeah, you're right.
And he'll sit there and look at his computer, or you'll say something that's so innocent, and it triggers that East Texas toxicity.
Yep.
And it has to come out. And he can't control it.
That's true.
And you're getting the same way.
Well, Lance and Round Rock sent a text that I will not read on air. Okay?
Well, that's no fun.
It's not fun. Now, if Reese wants to get fired and get FCC violation, he can do that.
Okay.
I am not reading it.
Okay.
All right. Can we continue on this trek and not talk about 5 ounces of chicken? Okay. Can we
weigh in your meat?
Well, I mean, look, to me, it's at Notre Dame. Like if you win that one, and they can win it, like A&M can go to Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame because I think they're physical enough up front. And if you look at Notre Dame, they've got a green kid at quarterback. And I'm not saying that because it's the color of a 4-leaf clover. It's because he's never done this before. And some people, Nuno, I really think from a national perspective, I think they forget that last year was year 1 under Mike Elko. and he had to throw a guy that wasn't ready in there at quarterback who absolutely balled out. Marcel Reed balled out. He almost took him all the way back against Auburn when they started down 21-0. Now, everybody's talking about Arch Manning and DJ Lagway and Lenoris and all these guys, but two quarterbacks that are not getting talked about enough are Damon Williams Jr. from Washington and Marcel Reed from A&M. I think A&M could go 10-2, but I've got them 9-3. I've got them 6-2 in the SEC, which, look, I know A&M fans want to make the playoff, but at the end of the day, putting yourself in that position with this schedule, you may still be able to get in. But if you go to South Bend and beat Notre Dame and get to 10-2, I think A&M makes it in.
Talking to Jake Crain here on TexAgs Live. All right, Jake, everybody's got Texas as this juggernaut, this 10-2 team, 11-1 team. Why do you have them at 9-3?
Because at the end of the day, I don't think Arch is the next coming of Jesus himself. Like, I just don't believe that. Not that there's no way he could live up to the hype that they've put on him. I think they're going to lose at Ohio State week 1. And look, the roster around him is really good, but I can give you other rosters that I think that are as good or better around a new quarterback as well. And when I look at Texas and kind of the way this schedule works out, I'm just not I'm not as in love with them as everybody else is. I know the defense is going to be fine. I think they're going to lose at Ohio State, right? They're obviously going to win their next 3, but they're going to lose to Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. I've got them losing to Oklahoma. I've got them losing at Georgia as well.
Okay. Tell the people.
They need to go ahead and like.
Why'd you look at your notes? You know what to say.
I do know what to say.
Do you have like, comment, subscribe on your paper?
I do not.
Do you have it on your paper?
I do not. You can come over here and look
I think he's got it on his paper.
I do not.
I don't think you remember what to say.
Yeah, I don't, have to read it off my laptop.
Actually, we did have people who have had to do that. Why did you give that look? It happens.
They need to like, comment, subscribe, and come back tomorrow for more.
Thank you. See you then.